salutatorian address will be given by Mr. Nick Carlson. Nick, would you please come to the podium at this time?
Good evening, friends, family, faculty, friends of faculty, the family of friends, friends of friends, the family of faculty, the family of family, and people who just show up to these things. We, as the FBCS class of 2019, thank you for your attendance. We also recognize and are grateful for the role each and every one of you played in getting us on this stage tonight. It's been a long road to this moment, but we're finally here. As we leave this place, we shall each be given a diploma, and what we do next is up to us. For some of us, this diploma means the freedom to join the workforce, and for others, it means the freedom to continue on to more schooling. While tonight we as a class are anticipating what the future holds, we are also looking back over our time together and our high school career. In fact, as I began to write this speech tonight, I knew I had to prepare with the same intensity and fervor that we as a class devoted to our high school career. So late last night, I began. Of course, never begin an important assignment the night before. That would just be ridiculous. I would begin the study hall before it was due. I've had the privilege to be a part of this class and to get to know every one of these individuals on this stage tonight. But I realize that some of you out there aren't as familiar with the entirety of the class of 2019. So allow me to introduce them to you. First up is Joel Larson. Joel's fun-loving and hardworking attitude has characterized much of his time with us. But one of the best memories I have of Joel was in 2016 at Northland's teen camp. It had been a long day of camp activities, and we were eager to get into our cabins and go to sleep. As the lights went out, many of us laid in bed thinking on the events of the day, when all of a sudden, Joel's voice rang out through the darkness. He said, and I quote, "No, no, please no, not the fuser, diffuser. Please do not take my fuser, diffuser." He had been talking in his sleep. And to this day, scholars and intellectuals around the world debate the existence of this legendary fuser diffuser. Abby Goshgarian. This is Abby Goshgarian's first year at FBCS, and from the beginning of the year, it became quite apparent that Abby was much more than just Starbucks target demographic. Her quick-witted humor and happy attitude helped create a fun atmosphere for our class. Even though her short time at FBCS is coming to a halt, it feels like she will always have a part of our class in our heart. Elaine Fang. Elaine Fang is a foreign exchange student from China and has attended FBCS since 9th grade. Elaine is a smart and talented member of our class who not only excels academically, but in her artistic pursuits as well. Elaine's art has won a plethora of awards, but most notably, she won a national silver in the Scholastic Art and Writing Competition. This is a major accomplishment, and we look forward to seeing what Elaine will do with her abilities in the future. Isaiah Hoffman. Isaiah's enthusiastic and energetic character was a staple of his time at Fourth. His hiring at the restaurant Chick-fil-A transformed Isaiah into the Chick-fil-A guru. Isaiah constantly repped his Chick-fil-A brand and made a point of sneaking the iconic phrase, "my pleasure," into any conversation he could. His commitment to the brand paid off, and to my knowledge, he got 5 other FBCS students to work at his Chick-fil-A. Mark Cooley. Through his unrelenting fervor and honesty, Mark is the kind of guy that can get you excited for just about anything. But if you've ever met Mark Cooley, you know that one of the things Mark specializes in is the creation of iconic catchphrases. There's no specific context needed for these catchphrases. They're applicable for just about any situation. Some of his best include, "What a catalyst," "Fool," "Hitting them dingers," and literally every word to the song "You're Welcome" from the Disney movie Moana. Natalie Goblersch. Natalie is a passionate and spirited individual. If you've ever met Natalie, you know that she has an affection for animals of all shapes and sizes. She has worked for a local puppy kennel and even had the opportunity to rescue a dog of her own. This love for animals has paid off for Natalie, not just because she's looking to undertake a career as a vet tech, but because by making her pets a part of her costume, Natalie has racked up a slew of Spirit Week wins. Abby Kolotz. Abby is one of the smartest and more responsible members of our class. But what you may not know about Abby is that she has a deep affinity for puns. In fact, there is seldom a day of school when Abby does not provide some serious punnage in one form or another. While many may debate and disagree over which of Abby's puns were the best, I believe her best puns were in 11th grade chemistry class because simply, they just had the best reaction. Summer Fang. Summer Fang. Just like Elaine, Summer is a foreign exchange student from China and has been with us since 9th grade. While at the beginning of her 9th grade year, Summer was much more reserved, she soon showed herself to be an increasingly outgoing and joyful student. One fun thing about Summer is that she is extremely easy to scare. You could be mid-conversation with Summer, and if you simply said, "boo," she would jump and begin to laugh uncontrollably. Summer, thanks for being a good sport and always having a fun, lively attitude. Stanley Luckett. Stanley is a cheerful and energetic guy who never misses an opportunity to brighten someone's day. As I've gotten to know Stan, it has become quite apparent that he has two deep passions. His first, the sport of soccer. And his second, more surprisingly, fruit cups. This is no joke. It is not uncommon to witness Stanley in the back of Bible class working on 2 or 3 fruit cups while Mr. Wilkes is giving a lecture. Legend has it that Stanley has consumed upward of 10 fruit cups in one school day. Thank you, Stanley, for teaching us that the impossible is possible. David Grew. David is a level-headed and easygoing member of our class whose impact and legacy will outlive anyone in this room. What, you ask, is his seemingly eternal legacy? Well, in 3 words, the dad joke. The dad joke began in February 2018 when Jacob Gustafson scored a game-winning layup to defeat the South Metro Huskies. David described those who were involved in the creation of the heroic play as a bunch of dads. This seemingly less than mediocre joke spread like wildfire. Everyone from 6th graders to teachers started calling each other dads. In fact, the senior class that year took pride in labeling their class the dad class. Honestly, there are better odds of you surviving the bubonic plague than not being called a dad at 4th. David, thank you for giving the world the joke that will never die. Micah Morell. If life was a staircase, Micah Morell is the kind of guy to pressure himself into jumping down the whole flight. Micah is a determined member of our class who strives to do his best in all that he does. Whether it be in sports or owning a small business, Micah gives 150% of his effort to get the job done. While he may not remember all his time on the field, Micah's drive and hard work were apparent to anyone who watched him play soccer for FBCS. Morgan Steffens. Morgan Steffens is known as one of the kindest and more compassionate members of our class. But when it's game time, don't mess with Morgan. Her intensity and drive to win help push her team on to victory time and time again. While Morgan shows some serious excitement and energy on the court, she never lets this compromise her attitude off the court, a character trait that will serve Morgan well into the future. Claire Peterson. Claire is a thoughtful and bubbly individual who always has a story to tell. But throughout Claire's entire time here at Fourth Baptist, she's been known to have a terrible addiction. Many doctors, psychologists, and yes, even pastors have worked with Claire to break this terrible addiction, but to no avail. Ladies and gentlemen, Claire is addicted to wearing Converse tennis shoes. At last count, she owns 14 pairs and has one for every mood. It's gotten so bad that if it weren't for the power that be, Claire would be wearing Converse right at this moment. Claire, we hope you get the help that you need to realize that Vans will always be better than Converse. Phil Peel. Phil is considered an easygoing and laid-back member of our class, except for when he's working in woodworking class or crafting things with his 3D printer. Phil is significantly skilled in these areas, and he's always working on some impressive project or another. One of my favorite things we would ever do with Phil was to try and get everyone to sing happy birthday for him, even though it wasn't his birthday. We have been successful in getting everyone to sing for Phil numerous times, but the best one was during the Max Band Festival this past fall. During dinner, we had the entire Minnesota Association of Christian Schools band members singing happy birthday to Phil. So Phil, happy birthday. As important as it is for we as a class to look back on the past and appreciate all we have experienced here at FBCS, it is just as important to look forward to the future and strive to succeed in what we set out to do. The faculty and staff here at FBCS has armed each and every one of us with a strong biblical foundation. And now it's time for us to get out into the world and put it to use. So while we may reminisce on our time together as high schoolers, we must never get lost in the past. We must strive to look to the future and put to use the talents and abilities given to us by God and cultivated here at Fourth Baptist. I look forward to making new memories with all of you and hope that we can all remain friends in the future. Thank you.